you're out to lunch.
You're misinformed.
You're misinformed.
Simply
right?
misinformed.
You're like, you've been duped.
Yeah.
They got you.
Yeah.
They got you. Like, keep giving them your money. Go ahead.
Cash is king, right, for that guy.
Cash
probably.
is king. And it's like, you know what?
Biggs and Boggs.
All right, you ready? Okay. Nice. All right, let's do it. Whoa. Hey guys, welcome back to your Future Handle Biggs and Boggs. I'm Marty Boggs.
And I'm Julian Biggs.
And we got Spencer on sound and screens. Thanks for joining us today, folks. We like to come to you about once a week or so and talk about some subjects that we do believe will benefit your future hand. So if you're new, subscribe and smash that like button, and let's get right into it. What are we up to today, and how can we plan for tomorrow? Julian?
Thanks, Marty. Do the things, absolutely. Cognitive dissonance back in the conversation today. We got a guy putting us on blast and lighting us up on Instagram. So we're going to put him on blast in this episode and show you his beautiful mug and tear him apart in this conversation and see what happens there.
A lot of good information coming up.
A lot of good information. Market's been crazy. So first, a market scope.
Markets go.
Markets go. Okay, so Bitcoin versus US dollar chart on the daily time frame. I got a little messy here, but I'm going to leave it messy. I don't really care. So from the bottom of this move, we went back to that 21.4 range, and this was the bear trap scenario that I was talking about. Sure enough, we went and hit the resistance line from the 69K top, confirmed that as support again. Big bounce from 21.4 and all the way to $25,200, which was the target from a couple of weeks ago here on Your Future Hand, and we hit that, nailed it perfectly. Beautiful. We like to see that. But the question is now, is it going to come back down to retest some of these lower levels, or is it going to stay up? And what we want to look at, in my opinion right now, is the SPX to confirm what is going on. Because it did look like it was going to do a very similar thing to what Bitcoin did, which would be the bear trap scenario. So it broke its highs, which was great, cracked through the resistance, got above this bullish pivot point at $4,112 approximately, and then we bounced in this range here. But just like Bitcoin does, it's always going to continue to break these lower lows and suck up people's stop losses because they don't want you getting rich, and they want to take your fucking money. They want to take your Bitcoin. They want to take your stock shares. They want to take everything, right? So what happened here on the daily? Daily broke its trend just like Bitcoin did from its spotlight trend that it had. Bitcoin broke down and gave us a bear trap scenario, and then pumped all the way back to the target that we had at $25,200, and it played it out perfectly. So bear trap worked out. So that question leaves me asking here, what is that low for the stock market? Is it this $4,015 range approximately to take out these lows here, or are we actually going to see a reversal just under the line? Because we know that this market's not quite as volatile as Bitcoin, and the move to the downside may not be as drastic as we saw from 24K back to 21.4 like we did on Bitcoin. So I'm actually going to get zoomed in here because the interesting thing is how this market ended on Friday. So if we pull up, this is the 30-minute chart here, and I actually took the signal off the 15-minute chart, which was very bullish as well. So when we're looking for entries, I'm looking at the 3, the 5, 15, 30, and 1 hour chart. So I'm just going to show you the 30-minute chart here for the SPX to end the day Friday. So yes, we were underneath the trend line, giving us this bear trap idea, this bear trap scenario, but we double bottom. So when we know we hit a double bottom here, we're kind of running out of sell pressure, and things potentially will get to move in a more bullish momentum. So what did we have? We had a dip into the oversold here on the 30-minute chart, and then the second low, lower than the previous, but the high, it was higher in the RSI. That's our bullish divergence. That gave us a very strong buy signal. And honestly, for the SPX, that is a very, very strong buy signal here on the 30-minute chart. And whoever took that trade, wham, they made a lot of points back up to the end of the day, to the end of the week close. So this is a very bullish close to end the day. Mind you, it's only on the 30-minute and the 1-minute charts. So this bear trap could continue a little further down. So that's what I'm watching for now. But as far as the SPX is concerned, this is a very, very strong bullish divergence. And what I want to see Monday morning is this RSI get above 50. But if we catch a rejection here at the 50 RSI and at the bottom of this trend line, then I think that $4,015 level is going to be the bottom of their bear trap scenario. So that's the levels I'm working out for. What's going on with the US dollar? Because we want to pay attention to that too.
I heard there's a lot of money put on the stock market collapsing right now. So there's a lot of money, there's a lot of liquidity above us right now because a lot of people are shorting.
Yeah.
And so, you know what that sometimes means? Short squeeze.
But the only issue that I've got with that, I mean, short squeeze is a potential too, but you got to think that this thing, the markets have moved so much already in the beginning of this year that, you know, how much more room to the upside do they have? Because on the larger time frames, we've kind of maxed out indicators and we've been oversold on the larger time frames for a little bit here, right? So, and we've got the US dollar now kind of finding itself a bottom here. And if we're on just again on the lower time frames here, this is also starting to find a bottom. We can see things are rounding out. The pressure's coming off of that. So, you know, we have a potential little bit of a flip as the equities and Bitcoin and things like that kind of slow down and chill out a bit. You know, the potential for a pullback over the next month or so
makes sense.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. So, you know, but there is the chance, honestly, the chance for Bitcoin that if the bullish close on the SPX this week was strong enough that it gets back into its trend. Then, you know, and if it gets back into its trend, then it's going to take out.
I mean,
if it does what Bitcoin did, and the Bitcoin target was 25K, it did the bear trap, came out, hit the 25K target. That scenario on the SPX looks like us tapping $4,300. Okay, that's the top of that range. So if this bear trap scenario plays out, it's going to go down to the 50 RSI, which is, you know, approximately
50 fib.
You know, the 50 fib.
RSI fib. CME. So many things.
Talking too damn fast.
So many things.
Anyway, so, you know, we're going to test this $4,015 is going to be the first test there, and then $3,980 to the 50%, which is what we hit on Bitcoin before going back up to 25K, which would be $4,300 mark for the SPX. So this is what I'm waiting for, because I believe if that happens, if we get up to that range, then Bitcoin has the potential to break this 25K resistance and tap that next 27K.
Yeah, I've been hearing 30K a lot lately. I mean, that's our episode last week was 30K.
So yeah, 30K. I mean, obviously we're starting to use clickbait. I'm sorry, guys. It's just a part of it. It's just a part of it. But we do believe that 30K is coming. So it's not.
It will.
You know
eventually.
what I mean? It's absolutely coming. The question is when. And the thing.
Well, we talked about it a couple episodes ago. Like, some people are going to take profits, especially with we got taxes and stuff like that coming out. Like, you're going to see money leave the market.
Yeah.
People are all hyped up after December being so red, after all of the last year being so red. In a new year, they're obviously going to. Okay, so in a new year, you can. It's all about taxes, right? In a new year, you can start to do new things with your money. So that's why in January we saw so much money come into the market, because all these people written off all this stuff throughout all of last year as loss. So now they start as a new year, it's a clean slate, and all these stocks have come down 80%. Why? What are you going to do? Obviously, get back in, right? It's so
right.
You know.
So let's go over to the Bitcoin chart again here for a sec. I'm actually just going to we're on the half hour still, so I'm going to switch this over to the weekly. Here's the weekly.
We'll do it all over again.
Oh, geez, got my fib going here.
Look at all those fibs.
Fibs on fibs, bud. Yeah, well, actually, I was actually creating a video with fibs. You'll see. I'm gonna make this little zoom in video with fibs. But everything works out to these fib levels. So I've got it on the weekly, I've got it on the monthly, I've got it on the daily, I've got it on the hourly, and it's banging these levels.
Yeah, very respected tool.
Yeah, very respected tool, absolutely. So we got this level here at 25K, major resistance. We can see this line, my horizontal line coming across here at 25K, and that's exactly where we are over here right now on the weekly. So the reason that people think 30K.
Well, it's because the CME gap or whatever, right?
We have the CME gap here, but there's basically no volume, because this was another area where it just kind of free fall. There's no trade volume in here, which is why it was able to drop so fast. And it's going to be the same thing going back up. So if we get into this area, if we break this 25K resistance, 30K is just going to naturally start sucking us like a tractor beam toward it.
It'll take a week probably to get to 30K.
Because there's no volume there. Well, it could go up immediately, but I do think that there is this little stop in the 27K range here. So
of course, and nothing goes up in a straight line. There's got to be a little bit of. I mean, well, last time it looks like it went up in a straight line pretty good there, but that's 3 weeks. That's 3 weeks right there. Last time we shot through, that's 3 weeks.
Yeah, and it can. And so the other thing that I want to be aware of,
It's funny to
look at
notice
this,
that it actually went up a lot faster than it went down, because that's about like 4 or 5 weeks it
I
took for
know.
us to go down.
that's
and up in 3
And what
weeks.
did we say here? As soon as this thing flips and reverses, it's going to happen so fast.
Yeah.
That you're going to fucking miss it,
Yeah.
and then you're not going to want to buy at 25K because
Yeah.
you're going to be like, oh, what if 15K come
yeah,
back?
and people
It's like this
keep
is,
saying 10K. Or
and this is why you have to dollar cost average if you don't understand the market. You just buy, you hold, and then you catch this 50% move, and you're like, holy fuck,
Yeah.
okay, all right, that's
oh, that's cool.
all right.
That's neat.
So anyway, I want to bring awareness to the fact that this could be still in technically a bear trend if you look at the larger time frame from the top. Okay, so if I have the fib pulled from the high of this move on the weekly chart to the low,
Oh, yeah.
then we're just now reaching the 38% Fibonacci retracement level for the bearish move,
Right.
right? So we want to remember to zoom out. There is always a larger pattern, and the people who have been in this from the beginning, or in even traditional finance that are now in Bitcoin, who have been studying these things for 100 years, they're using much larger time frames than we do. That's why us little shrimp and minnows and whoever else is out there get swallowed up, basically, as the market chops up and down, because we have such a narrow vision. We want to get rich fast, so we look at these shorter time frames and everything else, right? So
Over leverage.
over leverage, fucking leverage, man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and they just sit and ride the 2x or 3x or whatever for years at a time.
yeah, exactly. That's just it. They've got trades open, so they don't care what the price is. They care where you put your stops.
Yeah, yeah,
basically.
yeah,
They're going to
they'll
push you to the liquidity pool, and that's
Yeah.
it, right? So we're just plankton. Fuck.
We're plankton clowns.
Oh yeah, we're clowns too. Yeah, let's get off this. Let's get into it. Let's get
folks,
into
stick
it.
around for this next bit.
So
here.
that's the charts. We're looking at
Well-
least to hold the 24K level coming into Monday here. So we'll see what happens. Time of filming this video, we're still at $24,547. So
nice,
looks all right.
nice.
Let's get into
nice time to DCA.
Let's get into this for a second here. So here's this guy. We're going to talk about cognitive dissonance again. We're just starting to get active on social media now. Like, we really haven't pushed our channel or any of this stuff because we don't want to steer anybody wrong. And
Yeah, and if you've been watching us from the beginning, which was about a year ago, we didn't post anything except for YouTube, and that was basically
And-
our pilot episodes figuring out what we're doing.
dollar cost average, and
Yeah.
dollar cost average. And
Yeah, we knew we
never
were
pushed
going
it.
down. We knew we were going to 20K. We said that. If you
Yeah.
go back and check, we said that. So we all for good reason didn't share anything on
Yeah.
any platform.
But then we also called 15.4K and the reversal. So,
Yeah.
you know,
So now we've got something to go off of. This
Now we
is
got
the
something to
reason
go
why
off.
we started documenting it all in the beginning, just to see like, okay,
Now we've been
we think
through-
we got something here. What should we do? Well, then we
Yeah.
have to document. So we document on YouTube.
we grabbed on the hype in 2021,
Yeah.
went through a full bear market in 2022,
Yeah.
and now,
Yeah.
you know, we're
And now we're starting to be rewarded by it. But anyways, we're starting to feel more confident in what we're talking about and how we feel about it. So
Yeah.
now we feel comfortable because we don't want the people that we love to get
And
wrecked. We want the people that we love to succeed. That's why why we're doing this.
And actually, New Year's too. So we have our New Year's reversal here. But I did a little update video, just a quick little blip on New Year's Eve, there, and I said I didn't expect anything major. I mean, 50% is major when you think about it, but like I said, if you look at the wider picture, we're still in this downtrend, right? And I did say I'm not expecting nothing too crazy, but a relief rally is very potential. So we did have this relief rally to the next resistance line, and potentially confirm the breakout. The weekly looks like it's confirming the breakout here. But like I said, we do want to be kind of aware that they could easily dump this thing, or at least slow it down back to 18K levels before the summer comes around.
Which would be nice, because then we can just continue
love
to
to get some
DCA,
more.
right? Like we want it to see go down.
my only
It's
regret
nice
is
to
not buying more under 20K.
it's nice to see it go up, but at the same time, I feel better when it goes down because I'm like, yes,
I can get
yes,
more.
I can get more, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so it's like,
At cheaper prices.
I hated Bitcoin at 69K. I was like, fuck, this is ridiculous. Seeing all the commercials on TV and all that stuff
Yeah,
just
yeah.
drove me insane. I'm like, no, don't buy Bitcoin, you guys.
And that's the
don't
thing.
buy Bitcoin.
So
I was just like going mad.
They do that. They do that at the all-time high. They push everyone to buy it at the all-time high,
Yeah.
and then they let Sam Bankman-Fried be the face of crypto all over the media, all
Yeah.
over the news, all over this, all over that, and then they crash that. They scare the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Everyone runs away from crypto,
Yeah.
and we hit 15. Everyone's oh, it's going to 10, it's going to 10, it's going to 10. Now it's at
yeah.
25.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Y'all missed it. You missed the bottom.
Scared money don't make no money.
Scared money don't make no money. This is why we dollar cost average, and this is
Yeah.
why we stay in. We look for trades. We look for those setups. We make an action based on key levels, based on previous performance.
and we can,
we take action.
Everything's charted. That's the best thing about it. We can go back 100 years and see. So it's like you can't argue with the facts.
And
we're not here posting our opinions. We're showing you the data.
The information.
That's all it is, right? So what did
and
you
we
post?
make our calls based on previous performance, right? So anyway,
have
so
no
what did I
opinion.
post here? So this was a short. This was a short from one of our last episodes, and we basically saying why save U.S. dollars, why save money in fiat dollars when it literally loses value every year? You're doing yourself a disservice to save money in dollars, right?
And you're not going to be able to
opinion.
save it with
Like,
anybody that gets interest that makes as inflation even. Like you're always losing.
So this doesn't mean that we are like down, the dollar doesn't fucking work or something, because we obviously have lots of revenues that we earn cash. We just decide to put our cash into more
Well, it's designed to be spent.
into assets and equities.
It's designed to be
right?
moved around, right? Like they want you to move it around because every time it
So,
touches hands, they get taxed.
Any major
They
company,
want it to move.
any major company, any Fortune 500 company, how much money do you actually think they keep in cash, and how much of that cash do you think they keep in something like gold?
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean?
It's insurance.
So it's like you can't say basic fucking economics that you don't understand. We're gonna get into this guy. So basically, this guy, he gets on this, says you don't save money because it can be printed indefinitely, yet you believe in crypto, which is basically the same, creating value from nothing. Y'all are a special kind of stupid, he says. Where do you fucking think the value of the dollar comes from? They literally print it from thin air.
Yeah.
It's printed
And it has
from
no
thin
cap.
air.
It has no cap.
It has no cap, okay? It's lapsed over 95% since it came around, right?
Yeah, so purchasing power is
So-
what it's losing. $1 is still $1, but $1 today doesn't buy you what $1 did 40 years ago.
And against the real estate market, it's lapped like 99.7%.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Its past performance is poor.
Right? If you
Plain and
if,
simple.
if you're still holding on to the idea that the dollar is the most valuable thing that you can hold on to, like you're out to lunch.
You're misinformed.
You're misinformed.
Simply
right?
misinformed.
You're like, you've been duped.
Yeah.
They got you.
Yeah.
They got you. Like, keep giving them your money. Go ahead.
Cash is king, right, for that guy.
Cash is
probably.
king. And it's like, you know what? We really firmly believe in Bitcoin. So I'm heavily into Bitcoin. But do I chart the SPX every day? Sure. If you prefer that more cutthroat shit where they're just like combing over the data and taking your money and making you think that you're fucking doing well off your 4% or whatever you get per year, then watch me. I chart the SPX too, right?
Yeah.
Like, we just prefer
And we look at the
Bitcoin.
dollar consistently as well.
Right? And the dollar, we cover the dollar, which is down, 10, 12 points this year already?
Yeah.
Right? So, I don't know. Let's go. Like, I'm getting fired up now, this guy. Because I didn't get fired up with this guy in the conversation. He just blows my mind because they don't, like, people like this. I would love to have a debate with you. About this. But when you just immediately go in, you're a special kind of stupid, and it's all clown emojis and this and that. And
I can't argue with that. We're definitely clowns.
We're clowns. We're here for your entertainment, right? But it's just like, I don't know. It's asinine.
What else we got? We
Go
gotta
back
read
to school.
We got to read the whole thing.
Go back to school. I'm not discussing with someone who doesn't understand basic economics. Nobody going to use Bitcoin for payments. I did not work as against inflation, and it did not work as a store of value. The worth of crypto is just what the next person is willing to pay you for it. Okay, sure, but the idea that we push here is not to sell your Bitcoin, to never sell your Bitcoin. I'm not waiting for the next guy.
Well, what
I'm
is
not waiting for the
basic economics? Buy low, sell high?
Well, I don't who knows what he's referring to as actual basic.
Okay, well, my only other guess would be basic economics would be if you see something that is being added to the value, or sorry, if you have something that's being added to the supply, then it will go down in value, right? That's basic economics. So, for instance, if you have less of something, it's more valuable. If you have more of something, it's less valuable.
Yes.
Simple
supply and demand.
Exactly, right? So that's basic economics, I would guess. Maybe in the comments.
Who knows?
let me know.
This guy doesn't
But
give
if
this guy doesn't give any value to anything.
If that's his point, then he's completely backwards, right? Because they continue to add to the dollar. So that's get away from it.
Yeah.
Basic economics tells you to get away from the dollar.
They literally just started printing money again.
Yeah.
And the guy, we'll crop it in. but the guy from the whatever his name is, Jerome Powell there
Yeah.
from the Federal Reserve, just said they literally flooded the economy with money, which fucked us
Yeah.
over the last 3
Yeah.
years, right?
Yeah.
So it's like this guy, he's obviously not paying attention. So anyway, he says, I'm not going to argue with someone who does not understand basic economics. Nobody is going to use Bitcoin for payments, didn't work as a store of value, didn't work as digital gold, and then it's all speculation.
So
Okay,
he hasn't been updated on
No,
any
he
of this
hasn't.
stuff in 5-6 years.
It's 5-6
because
years at least.
It
And he,
all of that is
honestly, it sounds like this guy probably got burned in crypto. He
Yeah.
probably came
Oh,
in
for sure.
and bought a whole bunch at the top of a fucking bull market and got burned and
Yeah.
has no clue now, right?
Yeah.
But it's like we can literally see the money changing hands. We can see the money coming out of traditional finance and going into Bitcoin now.
Mm-hmm.
And they proved it to you by making Sam Bankman-Fried the face of crypto and then absolutely sewering a $30 billion exchange. Why is the U.S. strongly onboarding USDC, and why are they regulating the fucking piss out of
Yeah,
Coinbase
why are they
and
holding so
extorting
much?
these other exchanges and buying up all the Bitcoin? So
Yeah.
they drove it to the floor as far as they possibly could. I'm sure they would have loved it to go deeper, but the 15K was the floor.
It's funny. I watched
And
somebody.
now it's up again 50%.
I watched somebody say like, "Why Bitcoin is trash? Why would the governments allow this to happen? I can't believe they've allowed this to happen."
Yeah,
It's
why-
like, you think they can actually
but
control it?
That's a 90. He's ashamed of his country too. That's fucking Charlie, whatever his fucking
Yeah,
name is. He's
yeah.
dude. If you're listening to a 90-year-old billionaire about finance, you are fucking lost.
Yeah, unless you got
anyway.
a time machine. Unless you got a time machine, you can go back 50,
Like-
60 years. Then it's very helpful information. But
You,
right
like-
now, no.
Yeah, if you're
The,
taking
the
your
human race changes every decade. We become a different. Like if you go back, we have the 60s, the 70s, the 90s, et cetera. Every 10 years, we change, and you can go back and look at history. It's proven. And so, what do you think? The 2020s are obviously
Yeah.
the digital era, the beginning of the digital era.
Yeah.
like
yeah, it is. And
it's
that's-
everything's new. You
like-
can't look back on some of that
and
shit.
it's happening all around you, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
How many? Look at what the Federal Reserve just did too in the United States. They hired a whole bunch of fucking software developers to fucking work with their CBDC
Mm-hmm.
program. Like, if you don't think the fucking digital thing is coming, like, fuck me. Like, you're going to be using your dollars, and in 20 years from now, you're going to be using any paper money that's going to be left is going to be Firestarter. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
it's already happening
fucking-
all the way around the world.
It's trash.
Yeah, it's
And like, it boggles my mind. Like, this guy's saying
Well,
it boggles his mind that we don't understand this, but it's like, we're up fucking at least 50% of my Bitcoin,
Yeah.
and then 300% on the rest of the fucking cryptos. You know what I mean? So who the fuck is?
and then
like-
also maybe something he doesn't understand is, well, what do you do now if it starts to tank? Well, it's like we have stable coins.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, like he said, how much did the crypto average person lose last year? It's like nothing. I had
Nothing.
stable coins and I was shorting all
didn't-
year. I made money.
Yeah, made money all year. I didn't lose.
It's a
I
bear
didn't lose any
market. The
value.
trend
Also-
is your friend. Once you understand how it works, you play the market. You don't make your decisions. It's not like we
it's a-
don't just tell you what you want to hear. It is what it is.
And it's also it's an unrealized loss because we didn't sell any. right?
Exactly.
So the longer
I traded for US
and this
dollar.
is this is the same with a stock investment too. The longer you hold something, the less risky it becomes.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who's been holding Bitcoin for the last 7 years is up fucking 6,000%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like a no-brainer, dude. Like
Yeah,
just at least go read something about it before you get into a conversation like this and just pull out the word clown. Like
Well,
you
it's
got nothing
crazy how
back in it.
fired up he got. But honestly, thank you, bro, because you helped us. Quite a few new followers this month.
And this is
few
and
new
it's like,
subs.
he's got us all figured out too. He says you're talking about passive income when you're not even putting in the work for an active income. Like, how do you think we're sitting here with all this gear right now? Like, did we go steal this? Is it Trailer Park Boys or something?
yeah.
Hey?
Yeah,
Like,
this is not cheap
you
to
just
set up
go-
all this
you
shit.
go into the government building. Oh no, they're bringing you new shit. We need this shit.
These are $550 a piece.
Well, who gives a fuck what these things are worth? It doesn't matter. There's fucking.
Well,
tens
he obviously doesn't know. We're trying to inform. We're here to help. We're here to help the
inform 'em.
people.
But anyway, just out to lunch. Like, yeah, okay, this is the only thing we do, and we literally make no money and can't feed ourselves either. Like, give me a break. So anyway,
Oh yeah, no, we're
carries
in,
on.
we're in our mom's basement. He said that, didn't we?
oh yeah, mom's basement. In mom's basement. Fuck, I wish my mom was still around. I'd love to fucking film in her basement.
Yeah. You know what's funny is
Rest in
my
peace.
dad was almost going to live here in
Oh, yeah.
in the studio. I'm like, I don't know if you can live in the studio, Dad.
You can't live in the studio, Dad. Yeah, exactly. Give me a break. Yeah, my dad borrows money from me. Like, fuck's sakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of arguing with this guy. Do your own research on Bitcoin and its production cycles, because if you understand the production cycles of Bitcoin, it's literally how crypto. I mean, yes, it's strongly correlated with the traditional finance market now, but Bitcoin, and now we're starting to see traditional finance ride with the Bitcoin cycle.
Yeah,
because they have
it's the leading indicator.
They have no choice but to move with the masses.
Exactly,
and that's what people don't understand.
Yep.
Wherever you fucking fish are going to swim is where they will put their money. Period.
100%.
That's how it
they have no
works,
choice.
right?
They because they are not emotional about it. They do what makes them money. Simple.
That's it.
Simple.
Period.
We
right?
have the power.
This guy is, I mean, I get emotional too. I'm still working on that. But this guy got fucking,
I think it's hilarious.
Anyway, so what do I say? Do some research on Bitcoin like cycles, this and that. Bitcoin's up 50% for the year. Blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, just like stocks, we do need new investors to pay the old ones. But like I said, okay, this is the whole world works like this. The
Ponzi
whole
scheme.
fucking world is a Ponzi scheme. The U.S. dollar is a fucking Ponzi scheme. The stock market's a fucking Ponzi scheme.
Housing market,
The housing
everything.
market, everything is a Ponzi
Think
scheme.
about it. Everything. How many
when
things
wanna
have
break
you
it down
paid
that way.
less for
So-
than the guy before you?
Yeah, and it goes back to this same thing,
cars, I guess,
though,
but-
that the longer you hold something, the less risky it becomes. The
Because
more
they
money,
make so many cars.
the more
right?
money
the
you
market's
make off
flooded,
of it,
right?
right? So that's the same with stocks and all that stuff too. And then he says if you compare stocks to crypto, you shouldn't be talking economics in the first place, right? Okay, well, isn't it the same fucking thing? We're just investing in small
It's the
companies.
new. It's the new thing. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're
for
in-
sure.
It's small companies.
It is, yeah. You're
small
investing in a
companies,
stake in a
right?
company.
And it's the same thing as getting
In a project.
dividends. I can hold a certain amount of coins or tokens on somebody's network,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to pay me a certain amount in tokens to hold secure on their network. And guess what? They're going to pay me a fuck of a lot more percentage
Mm-hmm.
in staking returns than they will in dividends. Why the fuck would the land of the free shut that down for its fucking people? You know what I mean? Why are they going to deny them access?
Because that's
to making passive income?
ultimate loss of control of the people.
Their control,
Yeah.
right? 100%. The dividend returns, fuck a dividend return. I don't want a dividend return. I want a fucking staking reward of 20 to 154%
Yeah.
on my coin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's like, well, in the stock market, if you invest and you get your dividends, and even when the company's going down, a good company's going to take care of you and this and that. It's like, well, it's the same thing in crypto.
Yeah.
When the price is going down and I'm locked into staking, guess what? I'm still making money daily when the stock goes down because it's a good company taking care
Yeah.
of their investors.
Yeah.
Like it's this. So it's like to say that you can't compare them. It's like, yes, they're different. It's not apples to apples, but it's the new fucking age.
Yeah, it's the new.
Right?
It will be.
Like-
Will it be? Think about how ideal it would be for us to just trade crypto
Yeah.
and actually use our commodities.
It's also
'Cause
the
right
reason
now
I can
people-
happily not work a 9 to 5.
Right now,
So,
people trade commodities. Right? So people are literally manipulating stuff that you need to live, your food, your fuel, all this type of stuff that you need to live. People are making money off changing the price, and they do it with so much money that it makes you pay more for gas just because one guy wanted to long it and one other guy wanted to short it. Like it's ridiculous. Trading
Right.
commodities is hurting the economy.
Right.
It's hurting the people. They should trade crypto and use our commodities. Then everything would be cheaper. The only reason everything's so expensive is because of the traders.
This is
it.
this is the level of this guy's intellectual capacity. I've seen people with Down syndrome talking more sense than you do. Like this guy is just a disgusting human being. Like he's just ridiculous. You kids nowadays are just plain dumb clowns. This is his debate against Bitcoin. You guys are just dumb clowns.
Well, honestly, man, thanks for your time. He obviously put a lot of time.
Whatever his name is, what is his name here? Woozies. We got a picture of his fucking face. We're gonna throw up there for you too. He's a real dude. Anyway, so and then he says, what about FTX? Okay, if you can't see the amount of money that the guy from FTX donated to all these political parties, they fucking blasted him all over mainstream media news. You can't believe a fucking thing you see in mainstream media news. So if you find a guy in an exchange who's deeply, deeply in bed with the political government of the United States and they got him all over the media news, you don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can't explain that to you.
That's a
you know
cool-
what I
and
mean?
he's a
Like
clear
if you're duped,
scapegoat.
if you're duped, you're duped. If you can't see it, you can't see it.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Right?
so brutal though, because even like remember when we were looking at him on our episodes a few months back? Like I just want to punch this guy in the face. Like he looks like a guy that would get bullied in
That's
high
what I
school,
said.
right? Like
Yeah,
he's just a guy that nobody likes.
Well, and
so
the thing
even
is
the
like-
people that he made billions for, they fucked him.
Yeah, and like everyone's like, why don't you have more Ethereum too? I'm like, if you look at the creator of Ethereum, like I'm not putting my life in that guy's
Yeah,
hands. You
I
know
know,
what I mean? This is why I'm so strong on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has no issuer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an open network. It's not a closed, controlled network. It's an open network with no issuer. Nobody but me gets to say what happens with my Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Right? So,
and there's a reason why so many people are trying to copy it. But the thing is that we're not Bitcoin maximalists.
Well,
like people think. I mean, I like Bitcoin the most, I'm going to say, but I have alts too. I love Cosmos. I love ADA. There's definitely a lot of other...
lots of good projects.
There's lots of other things out there, and no doubt something that comes first will always have its issues, and people will build on those issues, and usually the first thing isn't usually the best thing.
Right.
It's usually just the innovator, but then you end up having Facebook instead of MySpace or whatever, right? So there is something out there, but yeah, Ethereum, I don't know, I'm not a huge Ethereum guy.
So those are other reasons
Don't like
that we have this podcast though too. We share information that would have kept people safe from situations like that. We talk about dollar cost average. We talk about cold storage. You have to own your private keys, and if you don't know what these things are, then you need to be researching yourself. Because if you're just dumping money into something and you don't understand,
it's gambling.
You're just gambling. That is speculation. But if you do your research and you understand what keeps you safe and you manage your risk,
and also you get
then
the information instead of just try and see what you want to hear. Don't make something up. I see a lot of people do this, like literally read something or watch a video and then come up with a perspective. And it's like, huh? How did you get that from that video? That's just what you wanted to hear. You didn't even listen to the guy.
It's crazy.
Like
oh man, more clown emojis.
I've had people ask me like, hey, what kind of videos can I watch and stuff, and I'll send people some stuff, right? And for Bitcoin information or whatever, and I've sent a Michael Saylor video or whatever, and then a couple minutes later they'll text me back, that guy's a piece of shit, loudmouth, blah blah this and that. I would never listen. I'm like, he's like one of the richest guys in the world. I'm not his friend, but he knows how to make money. Listen to him for how he works, not for who he is.
And then he says here, my dog talks more sense than you, blah, 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 blah. So
okay, well, he's talking to his dog. Now we know.
but luring people into believing that they can actually get rich. Never once have we told people that they can get rich, and a bit hypocrite in it. Bit hypocrite in it, he says.
Bit hypocrite in
Bit hypocrite in it. In it. He's got a bunch of spelling mistakes here too. So anyways, we don't lure people into anything. We only push dollar cost averaging Bitcoin. And if you had been doing that, you'd be looking like you'd have a really nice, healthy position.
Yeah,
right
we're
now
just
from
pointing
the
out the
bottom,
facts, man.
right?
Like fiat currencies fail. That happens every 500 years, 200 years, whatever.
If this guy had some sharing false and incomplete information, which we haven't, because anybody following our complete information would be in a nice position right now.
Yeah.
Mind boggles me, he says.
That's probably not too hard to do.
Probably not very difficult to mind boggle the old woozies here.
Coffee and cigarettes, that's all he knows.
Appreciate your time and effort, he says.
Oh man, how long does this just keep going?
It goes so long. I don't even want to read the whole thing.
Holy moly. Hey, well, thanks for your time, bro.
Thanks for your time. We appreciate you lighting up our posts like this. We need comments like this. The controversy is what's really going to build value in our pages.
Definitely.
So we appreciate it big time. Anybody's just going to read our comments and realize that you're whatever. But anyway, what do I go? I mean, this guy goes off. More clowns. Okay. And then he says, get your facts straight. I already forgot about you guys. Don't expect me to even watch a minute, even though he's still fucking
going
in here. He actually, and he mentioned all the followers between all our social media accounts. So it's great that you were able to locate them all. I appreciate you checking them all out.
I went and checked them all out.
I like that as well.
So funny.
And we did actually gain 11 followers for our IG. That was really great off that post. We appreciate that.
Nice.
But I mean, anyway, at the end, I go on to talk about how $700 billion has actually come into the crypto space in the last 6-7 weeks. So that's obviously all idiot clown money. It must be just a bunch of morons across the world that dumped $700 billion into the crypto space. Just a bunch of morons like Marty and I here. Anyway, then I go on to say at the end here, things that Bitcoin is more valuable than. So in the last 10 years or less than that, because it's really only happened in the last 5 to 7 years, Bitcoin has become more valuable than MasterCard. It's become more valuable than Visa, JP Morgan, Meta, Facebook, IG, Samsung, Walmart, Procter & Gamble, United Health, etc., 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 etc. Okay? People are starting to now open their eyes to the fucking sham that is the U.S. federal dollar system, right? Mm-hmm. And Bitcoin is just a safety net. It's an insurance, just like gold is. If you want to insure some value for yourself in the future, you can't hold it in dollars, period.
Yeah, you can't. That's the truth. And your time is your currency, right, Julian?
Oh, yeah, that thought. So I looked at that. So he's saying, I need an education. Yeah, get me fired up. Get me fired up, that fucking guy. Anyway, so get an education, right? So the biggest currency that we have now, right, is attention and time.
Yeah, for sure.
So my time and how we can garner attention from the rest of the world. The biggest fucking and most influence.
Yeah,
actually.
influence.
Like even if you go back to before the digital era, before the Industrial Revolution, you go back to any of the conquerors, it was all about power of influence, right? So having the world's attention is what it's always been about. And the U.S. has had our attention for the last 100 years, or whatever the case may be, right? And we're all getting duped by that. But my time is my currency. So why am I going to give them 5 to 8 years of my attention and time currency and $100,000 of student loan debt for a job that pays me $70,000 a year? That's bad fucking business.
Yeah, it's set up for failure.
That's bad investing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
Like,
terrible investing.
Terrible investing.
Terrible.
So the last thing I want
But
is
they have-
education in traditional finance, because since I learned about crypto and blockchain technology, basically everything that I knew about traditional finance was absolute and complete bullshit, and I have way more money than I did before.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because that system is designed to take your money.
Yeah, it's all manipulation.
This system is designed to sustain everybody.
And it's community-based.
Equality at its finest.
So the whole idea of Bitcoin is that we want to separate money from state because they shouldn't have that fucking control over us.
They don't
right?
need to.
They don't need to.
We don't need messengers
right?
anymore.
So yeah, we need government and we need someone to stop murderers. And,
Hey, well,
and all these
democracy
things.
would be great if it was for real.
If it was real. It's a fucking false illusion of freedom, and you just
If it was real, it'd be great. But with Bitcoin, it can be, right? Because you even with upgrades and all that sort of stuff, validators and people that are part of the network have to vote on that type of stuff.
Yeah.
It's no different. It's all built off the same idea that we've been trying to.
And again, we'll say it here again too. Bitcoin and crypto are two totally different things. And with crypto, you're investing in companies, you're investing in people, you're investing in ideas and speculation. Bitcoin is a whole different beast.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand it, then I strongly suggest you try.
Just read the white paper.
Yeah. Strongly suggest you try.
All right. Well, solid episode. You guys have a good one out there. I think it's time for Biggs and Boggs to say, we're out of time. Peace.
Peace.
Biggs and Boggs.